What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Jackson. We are one step closer to crowning the interim Super Bowl champion because the Indianapolis Colts are the true Super Bowl 56 champions. Power's here, and yeah, we have moved on to the divisional round of the playoffs. The wild card weekend was great. I went 6-0 in my picks. I got them all right. Watch the video. If you don't believe me, I got them all right. So it was a good weekend for sure. For football, only two games were actually good. The Niners and Cowboys and the Bengals and Raiders were good, but all the other ones were blowouts. So hopefully this week we get better games, and hopefully it's just a good weekend. So it's divisional round weekend. We got 4 great games coming up. The best of the best are left, and I'm about to tell you who's going to win them. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to start off with the Cincinnati Bengals versus the worst number 1 seed in the history of the NFL, the Tennessee Titans. It's in Tennessee. Tennessee, they got a bye because they're lucky as shit. And the Bengals just are coming off of their first ever playoff win. It's going to be a very good game, I think. It's gonna be very competitive. I think that Tennessee is going to probably dominate time and possession because Derrick Henry is coming back, and he is a great running back. I will give you guys that. He is a phenomenal running back, and I feel like he could make a difference, but if the Bengals can just figure out a way to stop the run, they will find a way to win this game. I'm fully convinced of that because I think the Bengals, they have the more talented team here. Like, not even my Colts fan bias goes into that. They got the more talented team, if you ask me. I mean, you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, just to name a few. Like, they got a pretty solid squad. And the Titans, they got Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, their quarterback who's terrible. I mean, he's better than Carson Wentz, but, like, that's not saying much. Ryan Tannehill, he's decent. I will give him that. Julio Jones, though, he's out of his prime. And I just don't know. Not even my Colts fan bias is coming into effect with this pick. I just can't pick the Titans here. I just can't. I know that the Titans can very well win this game. I don't doubt that they won't win this game. I think they could, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think the Bengals, they have a lot more momentum right now. They're feeling really good about themselves. They're feeling real confident. They just got their first playoff win in 31 years. I think they ride that momentum, and I think that they beat the Tennessee Titans in a very good, very close game. But, I mean, this is just a game. It can really go either way if you ask me. But I am taking the Bengals just because I think that they are just overall the better team here. So, we're going to stick with the AFC side of things with the Bills versus the Chiefs. This game right here, I think, is essentially the AFC Championship because, let's be honest, the Titans and the Bengals will not beat the Bills or Chiefs. Just to get that out of the way. Neither one of those teams are going to beat the Bills or the Chiefs. So I think this game right here is going to end up deciding who comes out of the AFC because whoever wins this game can easily beat the winner of Cincinnati and Tennessee. So this is going to be a very good game, I think. The Bills are coming off of a dominant victory over the Patriots, which I did not expect. I thought the Bills were going to win that game, but I didn't think it was going to be that lopsided. And the Chiefs, they took care of business against the Steelers, which there was no surprise there. So it's in Arrowhead. It's going to be a tough one. The Chiefs are upset or revenge-minded because they lost to the Bills in the regular season. But the Bills, they are also revenge-minded because they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC title game last year. So I think this is going to be a very good game. You know, before divisional round weekend, before wild card weekend, the Chiefs were my pick to come out of the AFC. But after seeing that Bills performance against the Patriots, that might have changed a little bit, and that's going to reflect in my game prediction. So I'm sorry, Chiefs. You guys aren't going to win this one. I think that the Bills get the victory. I think that they just ride their momentum into the AFC Championship because Josh Allen, he's just going to do his thing. I think it's his time. I think it's his time to beat the Chiefs. I think it's the Chiefs' time to fall. I think that the Bills move on to the AFC Championship, take on the Cincinnati Bengals. So the AFC side of things, we got that settled. Now let's move on to the NFC side of things. We got a couple good games over here. We're going to start out with the 49ers traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. This is probably the easiest one to predict out of all of these because it's 1 versus 6. The Niners were the only road team to win last week. The Niners are upset-minded, and a lot of people are actually picking the 49ers to pull the upset. And I think that's just because it seems like such an obvious game to pick that the Packers are going to win. And usually when that happens, the other team gets the win. So I could see where people are coming from, but I just can't go against the Packers here. The Packers have been playing great football. Aaron Rodgers, he's determined to get another Super Bowl ring. And Jimmy Garoppolo, he's going to play a factor in this game, and I think he's single-handedly going to be the reason why the 49ers lose. Because the coldest weather he's ever started in is 38 degrees. It is expected to be 2 degrees at kickoff in this game in Green Bay. So that's going to play a factor. He's also going to be playing injured. He's got his thumb injury, and now he's got a shoulder injury. He's going to be playing injured, and it's going to have an effect, especially in the cold. And the Packers, they're a cold weather team. The Niners are a warm weather team. The Packers are used to playing in these elements. They've been practicing outside all week, and it hasn't been phasing them one bit. And, I was going to take the Packers no matter what. This is also a rematch of the regular season. It's just impossible to go against the Packers here. I think the Packers, they get the job done. I think the Niners, they keep it close for a little bit, but the Packers end up pulling away in the end. So that will be my pick for that game. The Packers move on to the NFC title game. And now, the next game in the NFC, which will be the final game of the week, if I'm not mistaken. It's a big one. A big game for sure. Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Rams in Tampa Bay. This game is going to be very good, I think. The Rams, they're coming off a shellacking against the Cardinals. They absolutely destroyed them, and in convincing fashion on Monday Night Football. It was not even close. There was no competition. Odell Beckham Jr. had a better QBR than Kyler Murray, for Christ's sake. That was embarrassing for the Cardinals. And you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they put a beating on the Eagles. I know the final score won't depict that, but Tampa Bay let up, and that's why the Eagles got on the board. But Tampa Bay was up 31-0 at one point in that game. It wasn't close. So I don't know how Tom Brady keeps doing it. He doesn't have, any of his weapons. Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, they're gone. I don't know what the status of Mike Evans is. I think he's playing. But it's just insane. The Rams, they have so much talent. They have no excuse to lose this game. Not one bit. They have no excuse. Tampa, they have a lot of excuses to lose this game. They're injured, they're banged up, yet they're still the 2 seed. The Rams, they have a squad that's Super Bowl or bust. And that's just what makes this pick so difficult, is because it's Super Bowl or bust for the Rams, but you're playing Tom Brady. And you should never bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs, because he just does his thing, and it's just honestly amazing. So, even though the Rams have no excuse to lose this game, I still think they do. And Tom Brady is why. Tom Brady, he has made a career of making nobody receivers into somebody receivers. It's just, I don't know how he does it. He just finds ways to win. Aaron Rodgers does that too. It really makes no sense. So with that being said, I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pull off. I think you could call it an upset, because the Rams on paper are the much better team here. I think Tampa Bay, they win the game. They move on to the NFC title game, because they have Tom Brady. And you don't bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs. You just don't do that, no matter the circumstances. So, yeah, that wraps up the predictions. Quick recap. I got the Bengals beating the Titans, the Bills beating the Chiefs, the Packers beating the 49ers, and the Buccaneers beating the Rams. So that would mean it would be Buffalo taking on Cincinnati in the AFC Championship game in Buffalo, and it would be Green Bay taking on Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship game in Lambeau Field. So that's my predictions. I know I pissed off a bunch of Titans fans by saying y'all are going to lose to the Bengals, but hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It can go either way. That game is really tough to call. So that's going to do it for this video. If you like, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And turn on the bell notification. And follow everything in the description box below. See you guys next time. Bye.